for you.
I will.
So just
and the way this is opening up, I have a feeling I'm about to fail it, but that's good. Let's do it.
That's right. Yeah. Just for clarity, I am an independent. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Cool. I think that's important for the premise of the argument because I know you did a lot of debating at Harvard. I also want to make it clear these are the same questions that I asked liberal Democrat Marianne Williamson. So I want to make sure that we put that out there as well, just to kind of set the foundation.
I'm open to being humbled. Let's do this.
Okay, great. Let's go. So you mentioned, the pride of being an American and how important it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way, for the United States Air Force. So when is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020.
Okay, so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years you sat around and did not get involved at all in any civic engagement? Is that my understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen, to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspectives. I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. So let's go deeper into the self-reflection. So you've sat around for, and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't take anything
and you don't even have to be. And you don't even have to be. So take it off and let's go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years. Your parents came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions, according to your resume, off of this country, and you have absolutely not been involved in civics. One, not voting, and two, let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take any leadership role? Because your opponent did, Chris Christie. He was the class president. So have you ever taken any leadership at all on anything, or just...
Can I just correct a couple factual things that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country. I was born in this country, and I'm proud of that.
No, I know you were born here in Ohio.
Ohio. You mentioned my parents
saying your
brought
parents were immigrants. My apologies.
That's all right. You said your parents brought you over to this country. I thought I would
set
that record straight.
I mean, they were immigrants, but let's not go down the water hole.
No, we're not going to water. I just want to correct a couple facts, and then the other thing is
you were born here in Ohio.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's right.
Right. So you've been here your entire life. So the question is. Did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president?
I did.
I know you played tennis. What is it? Explain it to us.
Student council. But I think that this is yes, I have held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, it kind of does. Okay, it kind of does. I'm giving the test. I'm the test administrator.
Right,
she tripping.
It kind of does, because when you go from saying I want to go to the highest office,
and I'll tell you, I've led companies as well. Is the other leader?
Right,
the main leadership role I played is and I want to talk about one early part of your premise.
This woman's tripping.
Bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around.
Okay, so she want to say just because this man did not vote all these years that he should not be running for president. I'm going to take my personal self. I never voted until 2016. So because I have a different phase in my life. We all go through phases of life. We all go through seasons in our life. We tend to grow as we get older. And that's one of the things that this man talked about, is that we shouldn't wait so late to have some sort of reverence for our country, reverence for the things that concern our country. So as he had been building businesses for years. And I'm not saying he couldn't have voted, but I just assume it wasn't he just wasn't at that stage. And I think about this. Watch this. Let me ask you a question. How many Asians have you ever seen vote? Just think about it. The average Asian person, especially if they come from China, they don't vote for the president unless they're born in America and they're Americanized. But a lot of the people that come over here from other countries, a lot of the immigrants that come over here do not vote. Because one thing about the Chinese, man, I'm going to just say this, they take care of their own. They have their own bank. How many times have you seen the Chinese man inside the bank? Make it make sense. Think about it. Sit back. You really don't see them because if you in Dallas, Texas, there's a Asian bank on Harry Hines. They have their own freaking bank where they put their money in. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of those funds and a lot of those resources and a lot of that money goes back into whatever systems that they set up in America. And not only that, it's going back to their people. But that's a whole nother conversation y'all not ready for. Y'all not ready for that because a lot of us, we don't focus on the main thing. But let me get back on the highway. I got off on the wrong exit. So this woman is saying just because this man has not voted back in the day, I didn't vote back in the day. Now all of a sudden I can't grow, I can't mature, I cannot be concerned about where I live and the state of our future as a people. So I'm gonna sit back and I shouldn't run for president because I hadn't done my civic duty according to her standards, which she, in my opinion, is a hypocrite. But I'll deal with that in another video. So, and think about the presidents that we've had and how crooked some of them have been. Let's make it make sense. How most of them haven't done anything for the black community. And one thing I can say about this man is trying to bring a sense back of America in a state where he's trying to unite the people in the context of principle. And that, in my opinion, is a start. And that's very important because America has lost its freaking mind and its way. Period. Let's be honest. So, this lady, it's crazy, in my opinion, to say that somebody cannot mature over time and grow over time. And you shouldn't be running for president because you didn't vote in the past. Well, I didn't vote in the past, so I can't aspire to be a future president because, you know, I just wasn't at that phase of my life. Let's be honest. And there's a lot of things that she doesn't do no more. I mean, things that she used to do that she don't do no more. So should we hold her to the standard that, okay, well, you used to sleep around when you were younger, so just because you want to be monogamous now or you desire to be married, you shouldn't be married now because you was a thought back in the day. Now, you can't grow. You cannot elevate. It makes no... Now, this woman talked about civic duty. This woman talked about a freaking civic duty. And she's a veteran. She kept bragging about that she's a veteran and that he is not. That she has served her country free of charge. Well, that's a lie. Because this lady would not have went to the Air Force if there was not some benefit for her. So for her to try to clown this man and say that because he didn't serve the country, or, I mean, let me take that back. Well, she did say that, but not only that, but because he didn't do something that didn't benefit him, that he's not fit enough to be in leadership and to run the country. I find it very hypocritical because she was in the Air Force and she went for her benefit. It ain't like she didn't receive no monetary gain. If you're in the military, you're getting paid. And if you get married, you get more money. That's why half the people that serve the country, in whatever branch that you serve the country, most of them get married for the money. You get paid more. It's not even about love. So she's sitting up here talking about this man, but she hasn't shown or proven to us, which she's trying to get this brother to prove, that she's done a civic duty free of charge or did anything that did not benefit her. Make it make sense. This is a black woman with an attitude. Her energy is so unruly, and I doubt if she married. And if she married, I guarantee her man not faithful or he cheating. I'll tell you that right now, just from her energy. Because real men, and if the man is faithful, she got a beta male. Because real men, stand-up men, we don't like that type of energy. But you can see that energy all on her. Combative, drama, all of that. Don't know how to talk to a man. She could have did that whole interview in peace, with a meek and lowly, humble spirit, and still got her point across. Period. Just my opinion. But I just find her whole conversation, her whole premise, very hypocritical on the stance that she did not serve as a veteran and she did not receive some type of benefit or compensation from her personal self, which she criticized this. So this lady is basically saying that, hey, if you have not ran for class president, we're talking about freaking high school, that you're not fit, or you should have some type of volunteer in high school. You should volunteer. People lead you in high school. Hold on. What is the mentality of the average high school person? How hard is it to get people in high school to follow you? Like, let's be real. Half of the people that were leaders in high school were not even fit to be leaders, right? And then most of the people that were put in certain positions in high school were put in position by the teachers because they were the teacher's pet or the teacher's favorite. It does not mean that you had the skills and the ability to lead the people because you didn't even put yourself in that position. It was based off whatever the merit from the teacher. Well, it's not even, well, yeah, I would say merit. Let me use the word merit. Based on the teacher, just because you act right, just because you kiss the teachers. But it's no telling why the teacher picked you and put you in certain positions. Now there are positions in high school you have to make good grades, but just because you make good grades, it does not make you a leader. So this whole perspective on that you have to be in leadership in high school is subjective. Not only that, there are plenty of people that are mayors and governors that are not fit to be a freaking president. Let's just be honest. There's plenty career freaking mayors, career governors that have never made it to the presidential seat and probably wasn't even the class president, valedictorian of their class. None of that. So all of this is really rhetoric and subjective because what you're trying to do, you're trying to downplay this man. Now, it takes a certain level of leadership to create a $1 billion business. The man has 5 approved FDA medicines. That's next level because you have to have a whole team in the process of building something that enormous. Let's be transparent now. So instead of her looking at what the man has accomplished as an individual, which you have 1 million people that were valedictorian, class president, and had leadership in high school that has never created a FDA-approved medicine and built a $1 billion company. You got to make it make sense, y'all. This is a black woman trying to downplay this man for what? I'm lost. Why are you trying to downplay this man? You done lost your everlasting mind, girl. What's wrong with you? That man has done what most would never, ever do in life, and he's only 37 years old. Make it make sense. Now, she talked about